While you sleep, your body quietly decides what kind of morning you'll wake up to, clear and steady, or foggy with a sugar spike. And here's the part most people miss. A simple drink, chosen wisely about an hour before bed, can nudge that decision in your favor. No exotic powders, no miracle claims, just everyday ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen. In this session, I'll guide you through 11 gentle, practical drinks you can test over the next 7 nights. You'll learn exactly how to make them, how to time them, what to watch out for, and how to record your results so you can see, on your meter and in how you feel, what actually helps. Think of this as a warm, reassuring nighttime routine designed for real life, especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, and you want steadier mornings without turning your whole world upside down. Before we brew anything, let's set the tone. This is not about replacing your medications. It's not about perfect blood sugar or quick fixes. It's about a calm experiment with safe habits. If you use insulin or medications like sulfonylureas that can cause hypoglycemia, if you're on warfarin or other blood thinners, or if you have kidney or liver disease, please loop your doctor in before making changes. Nighttime is when low blood sugar can sneak up, and certain herbs and acids can interact with medications. We'll be careful and smart. We're aiming for safe and steady, not heroic and risky. Why does blood sugar misbehave at night, anyway? A few reasons. If dinner runs late or leans heavy on refined carbs, glucose can stay elevated while you sleep. Stress hormones like cortisol rise at night and toward dawn. That's part of the body's natural rhythm, and they can nudge the liver to release glucose into the blood, a phenomenon many people notice as higher fasting readings in the morning. Dehydration concentrates glucose and makes everything a little stickier. Fragmented sleep keeps your nervous system on alert and your metabolism a bit out of tune. For many older adults, nighttime bathroom trips, medications, and aches break up sleep and add more stress signals. The encouraging news is that small choices in the evening, what and when you drink, how you wind down, can soften these effects. Here's how to use what you're about to learn. Choose 1 or 2 drinks that feel right for you. Make them without sugar or honey. Prepare them about 60 to 90 minutes before bed so you have time to sip, relax, and finish without flooding your bladder right before lights out. If nocturia, waking to urinate, is a big issue for you, keep the volume smaller and finish closer to 90 minutes before bed. In the morning, before breakfast, check your fasting glucose if you monitor it and make a quick note of how you slept and how you feel. Do this for 3 to 7 nights with the same drink, then compare. You're looking for gentle patterns, not perfection. To keep this simple, remember the word S.O.N.O, which in Portuguese means sleep, and in our case is an easy rule of thumb, semaqucar, which means no added sugar in your night drink, oracao or relaxation, meaning a few minutes of quiet breathing, prayer, or calm reflection to lower stress hormones. Nutrico leave, meaning light, kind nutrition from the drinks we'll discuss, and Orientaco Medica when needed, meaning involve your healthcare team if you use medicines that can cause lows or if you have kidney, liver, or bleeding conditions. That's our base camp. Let me give you a quick guide for your night experiments so you don't have to memorize anything complicated. Aim for a standard cup of about 200 to 300 milliliters. Warm or room temperature generally feels best in the evening. Very cold liquids can sometimes irritate a sensitive stomach, and very hot liquids can interfere with dental sensitivity. Avoid sweeteners. If you crave flavor, we'll use spices and peels, cinnamon, a strip of orange peel, a drop of vanilla extract, a few mint leaves. Sip slowly. Set your cup down twice during the drink and take a slow breath. These small pauses signal your body that it's safe to settle. In the morning, jot down 2 things: your fasting glucose and your morning feeling on a simple scale like low, medium, or high energy. That tiny log will teach you more in a week than guessing will teach you in a year. I'm going to walk you through 11 drinks. I'll tell you what each one might do, how to make it, and who should be careful. You don't have to use all of them. Think of it like a menu. Start with 1 or 2, repeat them for a few nights, and notice. Before we begin, a quick story to set the stage. Michael, 68, used to wake with fasting numbers creeping into the 130s and 140s and a brain that felt like it took a wrong turn on the way to morning. He tried one small change: a gentle drink an hour before bed, followed by 4 quiet breaths and a short walk in his hallway. He picked cinnamon tea because it felt familiar. For nights later, he messaged me that his morning numbers were inching down and he felt less sticky when he got out of bed. Nothing magic, just a kinder evening rhythm. Let's begin with cinnamon, the cozy spice most of us associate with warmth and comfort. A simple cinnamon tea can help some people feel less pulled toward evening sweets and may support insulin sensitivity. If you can, choose Ceylon cinnamon, the kind often called true cinnamon, which naturally contains less coumarin, a compound that in large amounts can stress the liver and also interact with blood thinners. Preparation is easy. Place 1 cinnamon stick in a cup, pour hot water over it, and let it infuse for about 10 minutes. If all you have is ground cinnamon, use just 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. Whisk it well, and let the powder settle before sipping. If you enjoy aroma, add a thin strip of orange peel while it steeps and fish it out before drinking. Who should be careful? If you take warfarin or other anticoagulants, if you've had liver issues, or if your doctor has advised you to avoid herbs that can influence clotting, check in first and use a modest amount. And remember, we're not sweetening it. Let the spice do the talking. Chamomile is next, and it's less about the sugar directly and more about the sleep that stabilizes it. Better sleep helps steady glucose by calming stress hormones and improving insulin sensitivity. Brew it using a tea bag or a teaspoon of dried flowers in hot water for 8 to 10 minutes. Don't rush it. Chamomile benefits from the longer steep. The flavor is gentle and floral. If you like, add a drop of vanilla extract to make it feel cozy without adding sugar. Be cautious if you have allergies to ragweed or other plants in the Asteraceae family. Chamomile can trigger reactions for a small number of people. And if you already take sedatives or sleep medications, be aware that chamomile can enhance their effects. Start small. Hibiscus brings a tart, ruby-colored cup rich in plant compounds called polyphenol. Many people enjoy hibiscus for its refreshing taste and its potential to support healthy blood pressure and metabolism. Brew it briefly, 5 to 7 minutes is enough, because a long steep can make it too sour. You can balance the tartness with a cinnamon stick or a couple of mint leaves instead of sugar. Hibiscus can nudge blood pressure lower, so if you already take ACE inhibitors or diuretics for blood pressure, or if you tend to feel lightheaded when standing, be cautious and speak with your clinician. A small cup is a smart starting point, and avoid it if you're instructed to limit herbal teas with your medications. Ginger is the comfort root that does double duty. It soothes digestion after dinner and adds a warm, slightly spicy cup to your evening routine. Thinly slice 2 or 3 pieces of fresh ginger, Pour hot water over them and let it steep for 8 to 10 minutes. If your stomach appreciates it, a squeeze of lemon after it cools a bit can brighten the flavor. Ginger can interact with blood thinners at higher doses and may cause heartburn in some people, so start with a mild brew and see how your body responds. If you know spicy foods wake up your reflux, pick chamomile instead on those nights. Apple cider vinegar, when well diluted, is a quiet helper for some people. The acetic acid in vinegar may slow the rate at which a meal leaves your stomach and blunt the glucose bump that can linger into the night. The key is safety. Never drink it straight. Mix 1 tablespoon into a full cup, about 250 to 300 milliliters, of water. Use a straw if you have sensitive enamel, and rinse your mouth with plain water afterward. Avoid vinegar if you have a history of reflux or esophageal irritation, if your potassium runs low, or if you take medications that can lower potassium. Ask your doctor. If it feels harsh on your system, don't push it. There are 10 other options waiting. Golden milk, an unsweetened turmeric drink, wraps your evening in a gentle, earthy flavor and brings curcumin, a compound studied for its anti-inflammatory effects. Combine a cup of unsweetened milk of your choice. Many people prefer almond or oat, with a half teaspoon of ground turmeric, a small pinch of black pepper to aid absorption, and a dash of cinnamon. Warm it gently on the stove and whisk. The black pepper is tiny but important. If dairy upsets your stomach at night, use a plant-based milk. Use caution if you have gallstones or bile duct obstruction, or if you take blood thinners. Turmeric can interact in those cases. And as always, keep it unsweetened. Let the spices be the flavor. Fenugreek, also called alhalva or methi, offers soluble fibers called galactomanins that can slow how quickly glucose is absorbed. For a simple infusion, lightly crush 1 to 2 teaspoons of seeds with the back of a spoon to help the water reach them. Steep in hot water for about 10 minutes, then strain. It has a maple-like aroma that some people love. Fenugreek can lower blood sugar and may interact with diabetes medications, so if you use insulin or sulfonylureas, check with your clinician and consider starting with a weaker brew. Some people notice a change in body odor with regular use. That's normal, and it passes if you stop. Avoid it during pregnancy. Chia water is a plain little trick with a big effect for some. Soluble fiber forms a gel that slows digestion, steadies glucose, and helps with satiety into the night. Stir 1 level tablespoon of chia seeds into a cup of water and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes until it thickens into a spoonable gel. Sip it slowly, or even eat it with a spoon. If swallowing is difficult for you, or if you have a history of esophageal narrowing, talk to your doctor first. Chia absorbs water and expands, so it must be fully hydrated and taken with extra sips of water through the day. If you're using other high-fiber supplements, keep your total fiber intake in your safe range and spread it across the day. With chia, water is your friend. Have an extra small glass nearby and take a few sips afterward. Unsweetened hot cocoa brings flavonols, plant compounds in pure cocoa that may help the lining of your blood vessels and support insulin sensitivity without the sugar of hot chocolate mixes. Choose 100% cocoa powder, not the sweetened kind. Whisk a teaspoon into hot water or an unsweetened milk, add a dash of cinnamon or a drop of vanilla extract, and sip slowly. Cocoa contains a little caffeine and theobromine, so if you're very sensitive, keep the portion small and start earlier in the evening to make sure your sleep stays deep. And again, no added sugar. This is not about dessert. It's about a nourishing night cup. Plain kefir, unsweetened, cultured milk, is a probiotic option that, for some people, helps the body handle carbs more gracefully by supporting a healthier gut microbiome. A small portion is plenty, about 150 to 200 milliliters. Drink it plain or dust a little cinnamon on top. If lactose bothers you, look for lactose-free kefir or try water kefir. If you're taking antibiotics, space your kefir 2 to 3 hours away from the pill. If you experience reflux after dairy, try a different night drink instead. And if you have immune issues, ask your doctor which probiotic foods fit your situation best. Bitter melon tea, made from the leaves or dried fruit of S.O.N.O, is a traditional option many people have used to help with glucose. It's very bitter, that's part of its character, and bitterness can signal the body to handle glucose differently. Steep the dried pieces briefly, then taste and adjust. You can round the edges with a cinnamon stick. This tea is potent on the glucose front, so if you use insulin or sulfonylureas, monitor carefully and involve your clinician. Hypoglycemia risk is real when combining strong bitter agents with glucose-lowering meds. Avoid during pregnancy, and if the flavor is too intense, pick another drink from the list. There's no prize for bravery here, only for consistency. That's the 11. The theme across all of them is simple: warm, unsweetened liquids that either directly help your body handle carbs, improve sleep and stress, or add gentle fibers and plant compounds that support your metabolism. Now let's talk about what to avoid at night, because subtracting the wrong drinks can help as much as adding the right ones. Skip fruit juices, even no added sugar ones. They're concentrated and can raise glucose quickly. Leave the honey on the shelf for daytime. Sweet at night is a trap for many. Avoid sweetened cocoa mixes and sugary malted drinks. Energy drinks do not belong in the evening. Too much stimulant, too much sugar. Be cautious with alcohol. Even small amounts can disrupt sleep and cause both low sugar during the night and rebounds later. And if caffeine keeps you awake, pass on black tea, green tea, yerba mate, and coffee in the evening. Some people also find that a lot of artificial sweeteners at night make them crave sweets later. Note your own pattern and adjust. Pair your drink with a 5-minute wind down that signals your nervous system to dial down cortisol. After you finish your cup, stand and take a slow lap through your home or along the hallway. If walking is difficult, do gentle ankle circles and a few shoulder rolls in a chair. Then try a simple 4, 7, 8 breath. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold softly for 7, exhale through pursed lips for 8. Repeat 3 times. If you chose a fiber-rich drink like Chia or Fenugreek, follow it with a few extra sips of water and keep a small glass at your bedside in case you get thirsty later. The combination, movement, breath, and hydration, prepares your body for steadier sleep. There are also clear safety signals to respect. If you ever suspect nighttime hypoglycemia, shakiness, cold sweat, confusion on waking, vivid nightmares, a morning headache, check your glucose if you can, follow your healthcare team's guidance on treating lows, and talk with your clinician. If your medications include insulin, sulfonylureas, warfarin, diuretics, or ACE inhibitors, it's wise to get a green light on which drinks fit you best and whether you need to adjust timing or dose. If you have chronic kidney or liver disease or troublesome reflux, tailor your choices. Choose gentler teas like chamomile or mild cocoa, avoid vinegar and very acidic or spicy brews, and keep portions modest. Your safety comes first, always. To make this easy to start, I'll map out a simple 7-night plan you can follow right away and customize as you go. On nights 1 and 2, pick a base drink that's calming and familiar. Chamomile if sleep is your priority, or Ceylon cinnamon if cravings are your challenge. Sip it about an hour before bed and do your 3 rounds of 4, 7, 8 breathing. On nights 3 and 4, try a more metabolic cup, either the well-diluted apple cider vinegar if your stomach tolerates it, or the unsweetened cocoa if you prefer something cozy. Notice your fasting numbers and your morning energy. If vinegar bothers you, trade it for ginger or hibiscus on night 4. On night 5, test a gentle fiber, chia water made into a gel. Have a small cup and follow with a few sips of water. Do 2 minutes of easy hallway walking afterward. On night 6, make a small mug of golden milk with turmeric, black pepper, and cinnamon, unsweetened, and keep the portion modest. If turmeric doesn't suit you or your doctor advises against it, pick ginger or hibiscus instead. On night 7, finish the week with a probiotic or a polyphenol, a small glass of unsweetened kefir if your digestion likes it, or hibiscus if you also want gentle blood pressure support. The morning after each night, record your fasting glucose and a few words about your sleep and energy. At the end of the week, choose your 2 favorites to make your new evening staples. Let me rewind and weave in the why behind each element so you're not just following steps, you're understanding your body. When you choose chamomile and breathe slowly, you're telling your brain that the day's alarms can quiet down. Cortisol lowers, your heart rate eases, and your cells respond to insulin more effectively. When you sip cinnamon or cocoa without sugar, you're giving your body signals and compounds that may help your muscles and liver handle glucose with less noise. Fiber like chia acts like a sponge, releasing fuel slowly and smoothing the edges of your nighttime curve. Diluted vinegar influences how quickly your stomach empties and how strongly your liver responds to signals in the evening. Kefir adds helpful bacteria that, over time, can improve how your gut and immune system talk to your metabolism. None of these is a magic wand. Together, they're like friendly traffic cops at a busy intersection, keeping the flow smoother. A few practical pointers can make or break your experiment. Temperature matters. Many people over 50 sleep better with warm or room temperature drinks than with cold ones. The clock matters. If nocturia wakes you often, finish earlier, 90 minutes before bed, and keep the cup on the smaller side. The cup itself matters. Choose a mug you like. It sounds silly, but pleasure and ritual lower stress, and stress chemistry is part of this puzzle. The kitchen matters. If you tend to snack while you brew, set a tiny boundary by placing a saucer of cinnamon sticks, mint, or orange peel beside your kettle and skip opening the pantry. And posture matters. Sit down while you sip instead of wandering around the kitchen. Sit tall, soften your shoulders, and let your breath go slow. Let's talk flavors and gentle sweet tricks without sugar. Cinnamon brings warmth. Orange peel adds brightness. Vanilla gives your brain a hint of sweetness without the glucose. Mint cools and distracts from cravings. A star anise in hibiscus can add a licorice note. Lemon in ginger lighten things up. For cocoa, a dusting of cinnamon and a drop of vanilla can make it feel like a treat without crossing the line. If you're switching from sweet teas, give your taste buds a week, they recalibrate. What tastes bland on night 1 often tastes rich by night 7. Because safety matters, I'll link specific cautions to their drinks one more time in plain language so it sticks. Ceylon cinnamon tea. safe for most in modest amounts. If you take warfarin or have liver disease, stay conservative and ask your clinician. Chamomile, be careful if you're allergic to ragweed or daisies, and if you're on sedatives, start small. Hibiscus, watch for lightheadedness if you already run low blood pressure or use AC inhibitors or diuretics. Check with your doctor if you're not sure. Ginger, in higher doses it can affect clotting and can worsen reflux. Keep it mild and notice your body's response. Apple cider vinegar, always dilute, protect your teeth, avoid if reflux or low potassium is a problem, and talk to your clinician if you take meds that alter potassium. Golden milk with turmeric, avoid or clear with your clinician if you have gallstones, bile duct issues, or are on blood thinners. Fenugreek can lower glucose and interact with diabetes medications, and it's not for pregnancy. Start weak and monitor. Chia, always fully hydrate the seeds and drink extra water. Avoid if swallowing is difficult unless your clinician gives the okay. Cocoa, a little caffeine. Keep the portion small if you're sensitive. Kefir, mind lactose intolerance and reflux. Space from antibiotics. Bitter melon, potent on glucose. Higher risk of hypoglycemia if mixed with certain meds. Avoid in pregnancy. Consider clinician guidance before trying. Now, because real life is messy, let's plan for common hiccups. If you forget your drink until you're 5 minutes from bedtime, skip it rather than gulping and waking up at 2 a.m. If reflux flares, switch to chamomile or a small cocoa and keep the volume low. If your morning glucose rises after a sugary nightcap or dessert, that's actually useful information. You've just proven to yourself why evenings matter. If you're traveling, bring tea bags of chamomile, ginger, and cinnamon with you, and ask for hot water in the evening. If your spouse or roommate loves sweet drinks at night, make 2 mugs, yours unsweetened with spices, theirs customized, and sit together anyway. Connection lowers stress chemistry. It's part of your plan too. I want you to picture a mini graph in your mind. On one line you see a steady, rolling hill of glucose through the night. No sharp climbs, just a gentle slope that dips toward morning. On the other line you see jagged mountains, up after a late dessert, down in the night, up again at dawn from the liver's glucose release. Our goal is to coax your line toward the rolling hill. Every warm, unsweetened, well-chosen cup, every slow breath, every short hallway walk after your drink nudges the line in that direction. What you measure in the morning, fasting glucose and how you feel, is your real-life graph. Write it down. Look for trends, not perfection. If your numbers shift downward even 10 points on average and you feel clearer, that's a win. If your numbers don't change but your sleep improves and your cravings drop, that's still a win. Your body pays attention to consistency. Let's circle back to our audience, 50 to 80 years young. Your body is wise, and it's also different now than it was at 30. Your kidneys handle water differently. Your sleep cycles shift. Your medications matter. That's why we time your drink earlier than many younger people do, and why we keep the portion friendly. If you wake often at night, consider creating a small evening window for liquids that closes 90 minutes before bed. If leg cramps wake you, make sure you're not restricting fluids too much. Discuss any electrolyte issues with your doctor and choose gentler drinks like chamomile or mild cocoa rather than vinegar or hibiscus. If you have arthritis or back pain that makes standing to brew difficult, set up a simple station with an electric kettle near your favorite chair and keep your spices and tea bags in a small basket. Make it easy to say yes. There's a common question people ask here. Do I have to do this forever? The honest answer is no. But it helps to have a rhythm you can return to whenever your mornings start drifting. Think of the night drink as a lever you can pull whenever you need it. Some weeks you'll use it every night, other weeks, only a few times. What matters most is that you've learned what works for your body and you know how to use it. Let me share 2 short stories to bring this to life. Lila, 74, loved her evening cookies. Her fasting numbers hovered around 150, and she felt groggy until late morning. She tried a cinnamon tea with a strip of orange peel at 8 p.m., followed by her 4, 7, 8 breaths, and she moved her cookie to after lunch instead. Within a week, her fasting readings were in the 130s. She woke less hungry, and she felt proud, because she'd found a ritual that fit her, not a punishment. David, 62, with a history of reflux, swapped his late-night bowl of cereal for a small cocoa made with almond milk and a short lap around his living room. He kept his portion tiny to protect his sleep. His fasting glucose nudged down, and his heartburn stopped waking him at 2 a.m. No miracles, just steadier evenings. Now, for the practical soul who wants the whole evening routine in one breath, pick your drink from our list, make a small, warm cup an hour before bed, sit while you sip, do a slow hallway lap, breathe 4, 7, 8 3 times, finish liquids at least an hour before lights out if nocturia bothers you, avoid sugar and caffeine in the evening. Write down your morning numbers and how you feel, and keep going for a week. That's it. Simplicity wins. If you're someone who loves structure, here's how to evaluate your 7-night experiment. Create a tiny grid on paper with 7 rows. For each morning, write your fasting glucose, circle an energy emoji or write L, M, or H for low, medium, high energy, and jot a 1-word sleep note like woke twice or slept through. At the end of 7 days, look for your best 2 nights. What did you drink? What time did you finish? How did you wind down? That's your custom plan. Keep those 2 drinks in rotation. If you want to expand, add a 3rd for variety. Let's also honor the nights that just don't go well. Maybe a late phone call upset you. Maybe your knee hurt. Maybe the neighbor's dog sang at the moon. On those nights, the job isn't to fix everything. It's to be kind to your body. Choose chamomile, or a mild cocoa, or simply warm water with a cinnamon stick, and do your breaths. The gift you give your metabolism on hard nights is gentleness. Your morning will be better for it, even if the number on your meter doesn't show it immediately. One more pass through the drinks in simple language, so they sit firmly in your mind as choices rather than chores. Cinnamon tea is the cozy sweater that can quiet cravings. Chamomile is the lullaby that helps everything settle. Hibiscus is the tart jewel that supports pressure and brings polyphenol. Ginger is the warm handshake for your stomach. Vinegar water is the careful tool, never straight, always diluted, that can soften late spikes. Golden milk is the earthy hug that calms. Fenugreek is the fiber friend that slows the sugar rush. Chia is the soft gel that smooths digestion. Cocoa is the nighttime treat without the sweet. Kefir is the probiotic whisper for your gut. Bitter melon is the strong, bitter nudge, powerful, but only with respect and medical guidance when you're on meds. If your mind is asking, which 2 should I start with? Here's a gentle suggestion. Start with chamomile if sleep is your main struggle or cinnamon if cravings are your nightly challenge. Then add cocoa or ginger as your second option. Keep vinegar, fenugreek, and bitter melon for later, once you've observed how your body responds and after you've checked in with your clinician if you take medications that can cause lows. Use hibiscus if you enjoy tart flavors and want a polyphenol-rich option, but be mindful of its blood pressure effect. Bring kefir in if dairy sits well with you and you're curious about gut support. Let chia be your fiber night on evenings when dinner was lighter on vegetables. It's worth addressing a common trap: sweetening healthy drinks. A teaspoon of honey here, a sugar packet there. It's easy to slide. But at night, the goal is to avoid glucose spikes while you sleep. Use your senses instead of sugar. Smell the cinnamon, notice the warmth of the cup, listen to a favorite calming song, sit in your comfiest chair. Let your brain get its reward from comfort and ritual rather than sweetness. Over a week or two, your taste buds adjust. It's one of the simplest and most powerful shifts you can make. Your body is always talking. The night drinks you choose are a way to answer. If your fasting numbers sit stubbornly high, consider moving dinner a little earlier, taking a 10-minute walk after your meal, and choosing one of the calming drinks. If your numbers dip too low at night and you wake shaky, talk to your doctor. You may need adjustments to medications, timing, or evening snacks. If your morning numbers bounce around, be patient and watch for patterns. Remember that one night doesn't define your health. Trends do. Let's end where we began, with the idea that while you sleep, your body is deciding how generous to be with your morning energy. These 11 drinks are not magic, but they are practical levers you can gently pull to influence that decision. They work best when they're part of a small, kind routine. Finish liquids an hour before bed, breathe slowly, move a little, and choose a cup that helps rather than hinders. Keep your doctor in the loop if you use medications that make lows more likely or if you have conditions that change how you handle herbs, acids, dairy, or fiber. Consistency matters more than perfection, and your meter and your morning mood will tell you what's working. If you're ready to start tonight, pick one. Maybe chamomile with a drop of vanilla. Maybe cinnamon with a curl of orange peel. Brew it, sit down, put both feet on the floor, and take your first slow sip. Feel the warmth in your hands. Let your shoulders drop. Take a slow breath in for 4, hold for 7, and let it out for 8. Twice more. Stand up and stroll slowly down the hall and back. Turn off one light you don't need. And when morning comes, check in with your meter and with yourself. This is your experiment. Your body will show you the way. If you found this helpful, you'll love the next video. Click on the screen and check out my video about the 10 vegetables that make your glucose levels plummet and end diabetes.